This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Well, good day. I'm Elena Rusk, and we begin with breaking news. All westbound lanes of Highway 178 are blocked in East Bakersfield right now for police activity. The California Highway Patrol tells us there was a car-to-car shooting just after 10 a.m. The CHP believes it happened in that area between Oswell and Fairfax Road, so they have that portion of the highway closed to investigate the scene. No one was injured in the shooting, and no suspect information has been released. We have a 17 News crew there right now. We'll let you know with a push notification on our app when lanes have reopened, but avoid that area for now. And a man has been arrested after a deadly rollover crash last night, which forced the closure of northbound 5 at the base of the Grapevine for several hours. CHP officers were called to the scene just after 11 p.m. for a two-vehicle crash. Investigators say one vehicle lost control and flipped over. A 25-year-old woman died at the scene. Officers say she was not wearing a seatbelt. The CHP says the driver, identified as Juan Edgar Morales, was arrested at the scene and a loaded firearm was found in the vehicle. Morales has been charged for firearm offenses along with willful cruelty to a child because officers say 4 children were in the car and a 1-year-old was not restrained. And dozens of students and staff were evacuated after reports of a gas leak near Vista West High School this morning. Just before 8 a.m., Kern County firefighters responded to reports of a gas odor and Vista West students reportedly experiencing chest pain. First responders evacuated more than 70 staff and 17 students to sweep the high school and a nearby Fruitvale School District building. Responders found no evidence of a gas leak, and firefighters said the gas odor had dissipated by the time they arrived. No students or staff members needed any medical attention. We have been closely monitoring the high-profile murder case against Trezell and Jacqueline West, the adoptive parents accused in the disappearance and presumed murder of Orrin and Orson West. A judge has placed a gag order on the case, but a cryptic motion by the district attorney's office may signal that other West children are witnesses in the case. 17's Christian Galeno explains what happened in court yesterday.
Yeah, well, District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer wants virtually every aspect of this case to be kept secret. Her news conference back on March 2nd is just about all we know of the case against the West. And today Zimmer's office asked for and got even more secrecy. The West remain in jail, but prosecutors got a criminal protective order regarding visits with their other children. Details of the order are not public, and there is a gag order, so lawyers can't answer questions. But the West attorney said in court this morning that prosecutors are concerned that the West will try to influence or intimidate the children about the criminal case. While not stated in court, the seeking of such a motion suggests at least one of the children may have witnessed a crime or has some knowledge of what happened to Orrin and Orson. One of the allegations against the West is that they induced a minor to assist in committing a crime. Zimmer refused to answer questions about specifics of the case at her news conference, and the West were indicted by a secret grand jury, and the transcript has been sealed. As it stands now, everything filed in connection with the case is subject to the gag order. Attorneys, law enforcement, witnesses, and court staff who receive filings in the case are barred from discussing evidence or even releasing documents. Superior Court Judge Chad Louie, in addition to updating the gag order to include all motions and future filings, also ordered all motions to be sealed. And trial is currently scheduled for May 23rd, but likely to be postponed. In studio, Christian Galeno, 17 News.
In other court news, jury selection is expected to begin today in the trial of Matthew Queen, accused of torturing and killing a man in what has become known as the Bakersfield 3 case. This is video of Queen in court earlier this month. Jury selection in his trial is expected to last roughly 2 weeks. Queen is also charged with multiple firearm, kidnapping, and threat offenses stemming from other incidents. Queen and ex-girlfriend Bailey Despot are accused of torturing and killing Micah Holsenbake. Despot, Holsenbake, and a third person, James Kolstad, were acquaintances dubbed the Bakersfield 3 after being killed or going missing within months of each other in 2018. The trial itself is expected to take roughly 45 days. Now, 17's Jason Katowski is in court tracking this story closely for us. You can see updates from him on our website, kget.com, and we will, of course, have the latest for you tonight on 17 News at 5.
Hello, this is Tim Callahan with Clinica Sierra Vista, and we're excited to unveil the Community Health Center of the Future, our comprehensive care center. It's located right across the street from Memorial Hospital. We have every service under one roof, from family medicine, OBGYN care, dental services for adults and children, behavioral health, and much more. So find your way to better care at Clinica Sierra Vista this year at our comprehensive care center. Visit our website, clinicasierravista.org, for the latest on this project. We'll see you soon.
Well, new here on 17 News at noon, Madeline Albright, the first female U.S. Secretary of State, has died of cancer. Her family confirmed her passing about 30 minutes ago in a statement posted on Twitter. Albright was born in Prague and moved to the United States as a refugee in 1948. She became the 64th Secretary of State, but was the first woman to hold that position. Albright was a key figure in the Clinton administration, navigating the tumultuous waters of Western foreign policy following the Cold War. She was 84 years old. And now to some education news. School boards and parents across Kern County are planning for an adjustment in school start times. Legislation passed in 2019 requires California schools to move to later start times by the start of the next school year. At its board meeting last night, Bakersfield City School District trustees discussed a proposed plan for adjusting bus routes ahead of that July shift. The coming change forces school districts to reconsider student allocation and transportation and concerns parents over how to get their kids to schools.
We really can't change our work schedule. It is what it is. And so we have to work around what the new start time is at 8 a.m. We have to think about how is that going to affect our planning as parents.
Encouraging our parents and
now, the plan proposed by BCSD officials moves 20 schools to an 8 a.m. start time and 22 schools to an 8:50 start time. It also aims to shave more than 50 bus routes from district schedules, which would require shuffling of students in the schools. The plan is set to be voted on in late April. Well, last week, hundreds of local students competed in Kern County's 34th annual Regional Science Fair. And joining us today is Alor Sahoo, one of the young scientists. You qualified for ISIF, the Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair. But what's going to be different is you needed to present virtually here in Kern County, and then you'll be going in person to the International Fair. So let's start first with presenting virtually last week for your project. What was it and what was that like?
Definitely. So it was more of an environmental chemistry project.
Yes.
And what an issue is in industry is industry often uses these oily chemicals to carry out reactions.
Okay.
And these oily chemicals, they often are environmentally damaging and some are carcinogens even. So with the Solano lab, what I've been able to do is sort of replace these chemicals with a sort of soapy water. And just like when you're cleaning dishes, you'd use like soapy water to dissolve grime. In that way, we're able to use soapy water to dissolve these chemicals, carry out these reactions. And of course, the soapy water is mostly benign.
Yes.
So there's way fewer environmental impacts with that.
That's amazing. So you're getting the same effect, but also being environmentally friendly at the same time.
Right.
Is that difficult, not being able to be in person when you're talking about these chemicals?
Definitely. I think there's a lot of like that human aspect that's inevitably lost when you're presenting virtually. Though, again, I'm really excited for ISEF since that's going to be in person in Atlanta. So I'm really excited to see what happens there.
So neat. And with this project, how do you take it from virtual here in Kern County to being an in-person project there?
Definitely. So my presentation would definitely need to be modified. And I'm really excited that I'd be able to have actual physical models instead of just virtual images to show what I'm doing. So I'm excited to see how I make that work.
Amazing. And then let's look off into the future. Say your project gets picked up by a company. Where does it go from here? How does it live on?
Definitely. So I'm really excited for college, and I'd love to be able to expand this research and maybe help industry and work with industry leaders to help change the way that they synthesize these chemicals so that it would be more environmentally conscious and sustainable.
This is amazing. Alor, thank you so much. Congratulations on your first place finish here in Kern County. And of course, we're wishing you best of luck at the International Fair. Now to your 17 Business Watch. Yesterday was the last chance for the public to weigh in on the latest PG&E rate increase proposal. Now, that hike starts with an 18% rise in 2023, which will increase the average residential bill by $36 a month for gas and electric service. Officials say the money will go to infrastructure improvement and other safety measures intended to prevent wildfires. PG&E equipment has been blamed for sparking some of the state's deadliest wildfires in recent years, most notably in 2017 and 2018, when a series of fires burned more than 28,000 buildings and killed more than 100 people. And of course, gas prices, a big thing we have been tracking here at 17 News. And while they continue to stabilize, there's no sign that they're dropping anytime soon. AAA says the national average for a gallon of regular unleaded is down a penny from yesterday, now at $4.23. But California's average is up a penny at $5.87. Here in Kern County, it's up 2 cents from yesterday at $5.82. So our website will track the lowest prices in the Bakersfield area thanks to GasBuddy.com. And today we have a report of a station that is down from yesterday's $5.13. We're hearing that the mobile station on F Street downtown is reportedly at $4.89. But those prices do change often, so check back to our website to see that lowest price at a station near you. Again, that's kget.com and just click on the traffic tab. And now to news of the coronavirus, as the U.S. has reached another milestone in the number of COVID-19 cases. According to the latest NBC News tally, our country has surpassed 80 million cases since tracking began 2 years ago. The increase comes just 26 days after we reached 79 million cases. More than 978,000 deaths have been reported so far, and this all comes as the BA2 Omicron subvariant accounts for a third of current cases in the U.S. But health officials say overall, infections are still declining from January's record highs. So let's take a look at the COVID-19 numbers here in Kern County. Today, Kern County Public Health reports 89 new positive cases and 14 new deaths attributed to the virus, for a total of 2,244 residents lost. State data shows 39 patients are hospitalized in Kern County with COVID, and 8 are listed in intensive care units.
The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.